Hello friends, welcome to the tutorial on getting started with lists. At the end of this tutorial, you will be able to create lists, access list elements, append elements to lists, and delete elements from lists. To record this tutorial, I am using Ubuntu Linux 14.04 operating system, Python 3.4.3, and IPython 5.1.0. To practice this tutorial, you should know how to run basic Python commands on the IPython console. If not, see the relevant Python tutorials on this website. What is a list? A list can store a sequence of elements. All elements need not be of the same data types. Let us open the terminal by pressing Ctrl-Alt-T keys simultaneously. Now type IPython3 and press enter. We are now in the IPython prompt. Let us clear the terminal by pressing Ctrl L for better view. Let us define a list with a variable name mylist. Type mylist equal to inside square brackets, inside quotes, spam, comma, inside quotes, eggs, comma, 100, comma, 1.234 and press enter. In Python, strings are always placed inside single or double quotes. Now enter, type within brackets mylist and press enter. Here, type is a function which will return the data type of the variable. Mylist is a list data type. As we can see, lists can contain elements of different data types. In mylist, spam and eggs are strings, whereas 100 and 1.234 are integer and float respectively. In the code typed earlier, the name mylist is a variable. In Python, a variable must either start with an alphabet or an underscore. They cannot start with numbers and cannot be the same as Python keywords. You will learn about keywords as we proceed. Few examples of keywords are for, if, else, elif, while, in, def, or, and. A variable name cannot have spaces or punctuation characters or any arithmetic characters. These are some of the valid and invalid variable names. Getting back to our lists, the list could be created as num underscore list is equal to inside square brackets 1, comma 2 and press enter, or x equal to inside square brackets inside quotes a, comma inside quotes b and press enter. Any valid variable name could be used. Let us now create an empty list with no elements. Type myEmptyList is equal to open and close square brackets and press enter. This is an empty list without any element. We can access an element of a list using its corresponding index or position. Index value of the element starts from 0, 1, 2 and so on. Negative indices are used to access elements from the end, which starts from -1, -2 and so on. The syntax to get a specific list element is variable inside square brackets elements index value. Switch to the terminal. Type mylist inside square brackets 0 and press enter. As we can see, mylist 0 gives the first element spam. Type mylist inside square brackets 1 and press enter. Mylist1 gives the second element. Pause the video, try this exercise and then resume the video. What happens when you type mylist minus 1? Switch to the terminal for solution. Type mylist inside square brackets minus 1 and press enter. As you can see, you get the last element, which is 1.234. We can also create a list inside a list. This property makes lists heterogeneous data structures. This is the syntax for list inside a list. Let us include a list within a list for the variable double list. Type the code as shown here. Here, BCD is a list in list which is represented within square brackets inside a list. Now, let us fetch some element from double list. Type double list inside square brackets 1 and press enter. We can see the output as BCD within square brackets. This is because the index value 1 contains the list inside a list as its element. Now, let us try to access a specific element, say B, from the list inside a list. For this, type double list inside square brackets 1 inside square brackets 0 and press enter. Here the first parameter represents the index of the list in the main list. The second parameter represents the index value of B in the list inside the list. Pause the video, try this exercise and then resume the video. What is the command to get the element AND in the list double list? How would you get AND using negative indices? How would you get element D from the list double list? The solution is on your screen. We can use len function to check the number of elements in the list. The syntax is len inside parenthesis variable. Let us find the number of elements in my list which we created earlier. Switch to the terminal and clear the screen. Recall my list by pressing up arrow key and press enter. Type len inside parenthesis my list and press enter. We get the length of my list as 4. We can append elements to the list using the append function. This function will add the element to the end of the list. The syntax is variable dot append within parenthesis element to be added. Switch to the terminal. Now type mylist dot append inside parenthesis within quotes sharp and press enter. Type mylist dot append inside parenthesis 6 and press enter. Let us check the updated mylist. Type mylist and press enter. We can see mylist is appended with sharp and 6 at the end. We can also remove elements from lists. There are two ways of doing it. One is by using the index with del keyword. Syntax is del variable inside square brackets elements index value. The other way is removing element by the value using remove function. Syntax is variable dot remove inside parenthesis element to be removed. Switch to the terminal. Type mylist and press enter to see the updated list. Type del space mylist inside square brackets 1 and press enter. The keyword del deletes the element at index 1, that is the second element of the list eggs. Again type mylist and press enter. We can see that the element eggs has been deleted from the list. Let us delete the element 100 from mylist list. For this, we can use the function remove. Type mylist dot remove within parenthesis 100 and press enter. Let us check the updated mylist. What if the elements are repeated? To check that, let's do a small experiment. Type mylist dot append within parenthesis within quotes spam and press enter. Type mylist and press enter. Here is the updated mylist. It contains the element spam twice. One is at the start and the next is at the end of the list. Now remove the element spam by typing mylist dot remove inside parenthesis inside quotes spam and press enter. Let us check updated mylist. We can see that only the first occurrence of spam has been removed. The function remove removes the first occurrence of the element in the sequence. Remember, the del keyword removes the element by index value. Remove function removes on the basis of element being passed on. Using remove function, we can also remove an element with its index value. Let us try this with an example. Type k is equal to inside square brackets 1, 2, 1, 3 and press enter. Then type k dot remove inside parenthesis k inside square brackets 2 and press enter. Type k and press enter. We can see the output as 2, 1, 3. Since it deletes the first occurrence of what is returned by k inside square brackets 2, which is 1. Pause the video, try this exercise and then resume the video. Delete the fourth element from the list, double list. Remove and from the list, double list. The solution is on your screen. This brings us to the end of this tutorial. In this tutorial, we have learned to create list with elements, empty list, list within a list. We also learned to find out the list length using len function, access elements using their index numbers, append elements to list using the function append, delete element from list using the del and remove function. Here are some self-assessment questions for you to solve. How do you create an empty list? Can you have a list inside a list? How would you access the last element of a list without finding its length? And the answers? We create an empty list just by leaving the space inside the square brackets empty. My empty list equal to open and close square brackets. Yes, list can contain all the other data types, including list. Using negative indices, we can access the last element from the list. Please post your timed queries in this forum. Please post your general queries on Python in this forum. FOSSEE team coordinates the TBC project. Spoken Tutorial is funded by NMEICT, MHRD, Government of India. For more details, visit this website. This is Trupti Kini from IIT Bombay signing off. Thank you.